Good morning students. Today I will be discussing about self-join. When a table is joined with itself, it is treated as a self-join. In self-join, two aliases of the same table are created and the join condition is specified. If we take the example of employees and managers, the employees are stored in an employee table and all the employees have managers. Managers are also employees. Managers also have managers. Consider the following table employee having the columns employee ID, first name, last name and manager ID. Here employee ID is the primary key column of the table employee. As you can see that for the primary key column employee ID having employee ID as 1, the corresponding manager ID is 162. This means that employee ID 1, who is Michelle Foster, has a manager whose ID is 162, who is also listed as an employee with ID as 162, and he is Kimberly Mendoza. Similarly, employee ID 162, who is Kimberly Mendoza, has a manager with ID 191, who is also listed as an employee with ID 191, and he is Spencer Lisbon. Employee ID 191 Spencer Lisbon has a manager with ID 193, who is not listed as an employee. In that case, the manager with ID 193 is the owner or the proprietor of the organization. Consider the following table called employee having the columns employee ID, first name, last name and manager ID. The column employee ID here is the primary key column. With the help of self-join, we can retrieve all the employee details along with their managers from this table. Now let us create aliases EMP and MGR of the same table employee, so we can extract both the employee as well as the manager details from the same table employee. The query is select emp.employeeid, emp.firstname, emp.lastname, emp.managerid. Here emp is the alias name of the table employee. Then mgr.firstname, mgr.lastname. Here mgr is the second alias name of the same table employee. Then from employee, here after the from employee, here is the table name. Then emp is the alias name, the first alias name for the table employee. Left outer join, so we are going to perform a left outer join on it. Employee mgr, here mgr is the second alias name of the table employee. Then on, see the joining condition. The joining condition is emp.managerid is equal to mgr.employeeid. Now for the join condition, emp.managerid is equal to mgr.employeeid, taking emp as an alias for the table employee. We see that from emp.managerid with entry 162, the corresponding entry of mgr.employeeid taking mgr as an alias for the table employee has the value 162. The relation is shown in the following table as pointed by arrows. So, for emp.managerid as 162, emp.employeeid is equal to 1, emp.firstname is Michelle and emp.lastname is Foster. And again, for mgr.employeeid as 162, mgr.firstname is Kimberly and mgr.lastname is Mendoza. Hence, the first entry in the table has employee ID as 1, first name for employee as Mitchell, last name for employee as Foster, manager ID as 162, first name for manager as Kimberly, and last name for manager as Mendoza. Similarly, for emp.manager.id as 191, the emp.employee ID is 162. The emp.first name is Kimberly, emp.last name is Mendoza, and again for mgr.employee ID as 191, the mgr.first name is Spencer and mgr.last name is Lisbon, as pointed by the arrow. Hence, the second entry in the table has employee ID as 162, first name for employee as Kimberly, last name for employee as Mendoza, the manager ID as 191, first name for manager as Spencer, and last name for manager as Lisbon. Now consider the following table employee. The manager with ID 193 is not an employee. He is the owner or the proprietor of the organization. So the manager with ID 193 does not have an employee ID. That is why you won't see the ID 193 under the employee ID column, which has 1, 162 and 191 as the entries. Similarly, for emp.manager.id as 193, emp.employee ID is 191, emp.first name is Spencer, emp.last name is Lisbon, but manager ID 193 is not an employee since he is the sole owner of the organization. So, for emp.manager.id as 193, mgr.employee ID is null, and since his name is not listed, so mgr.first name is null and mgr.last name is null. Hence, the third entry in the table has employee ID as 191, first name for employee as Spencer, last name for employee as Lisbon, manager ID as 193, first name for manager as null, and last name for manager as null. If we group all the three entries, the table after the join operation will be exactly as seen in this slide.